Europe, Asia, Africa, who cares? They're hopeless. There has to be a final battle between Israel and the world. Once America is able to restore its Republican soul and spirit, then America will be great again. And Donald Trump, his mission is to lead the American people in the revolution against the global elite and to restore the American Republic. Okay, that's Donald Trump. For Benjamin Netanyahu, like many Israelis, they believe that the golden age of the Jewish people was Kingdom of David, which occurred about 3,000 years ago. That was when Israel, the nation, was free, independent, unified, and supreme in the Middle East. It was a time of peace and prosperity for the world. But after the Kingdom of David collapsed, Israel has been attacked by its neighbors and has been dismembered and has become a vassal state. First, the Syrians and Babylonians came to dismember Israel. Then Israel became a vassal state to the Persians. Then after the Persians came the Ptolemies of Egypt. And after that were the Seleucid Empire. The Jews were able to rebel against the Seleucid Empire and establish the reign of the Maccabees. But that didn't last very long because the Romans came right after that. And the Romans were brutal. The Romans killed many Jews, and they exiled the Jews from Jerusalem, their place of worship, and they destroyed the Second Temple. So the Romans were extremely brutal. In the 7th century, the Islamic Caliphate restored the Jews to Jerusalem, but they were still not masters of their own land. So the entire project of Israel is to return to the glory days of the Kingdom of David. It's a historical opportunity to achieve that. The only opposition against reestablishing the Kingdom of David is Iran and the United States. And if both can be destroyed in a cataclysmic war, then you will have the restoration of the Kingdom of David. Israel will be a unified nation again. All Jews can now return to Israel, and Israel can be the light of all nations, which is what the nation aspires to. Of course, this raises a really interesting question. For the Empire of Israel to be born, the Empire of America needs to be destroyed. So why would America just sit back and let this happen? Why would the global elite allow for Israel to become dominant in the Middle East? Remember, the center of global trade is the Middle East. Most of the world's oil is in the Middle East. I think Israel will achieve its ambition. And the reason why is there are certain elements of the American empire, there are certain elements of the global elite that want the Kingdom of David to be restored. They want the American empire to be destroyed and to leave the Middle East. They want to help Netanyahu achieve his messianic calling. These elements are what we can loosely call Christian Zionists. They believe that for Jesus to return, the nation of Israel has to be reconstituted. They have to rebuild their temple, and they have to call back all the Jews from around the world. And there has to be a final battle between Israel and the world. They believe that it is their messianic calling to make this prophecy happen. You hear this and you think this is all really silly. Let me tell you two things. The first thing is this plan, this prophecy, has been in place for centuries. This Christian Zionist project has been around ever since the Protestant Reformation. And these people have been patiently planning and waiting for today. That's the first thing. The second thing you need to know is there's a man who actually conceived this Christian Zionist project, who built the intellectual foundations for Christian Zionism. And this man, you know his name, but you may not really know who he is. His name is Isaac Newton. And you know that, yeah, he is the founder of calculus, conceived the foundations for classical mechanics in physics. But you don't know who the real historical Isaac Newton is. The real historical Isaac Newton saw himself as a prophet with a messianic calling to understand the mind of God and to prepare for the return of Jesus. And as you probably know, Isaac Newton was a very smart man. So in my next video, I'm going to talk about the real historical Isaac Newton and what his plan is. Because once you understand all this, then what's happening in the Middle East makes a lot more sense.